Welcome to the Heidi Thorne Show. I'm your host, Heidi Thorne, and in this podcast, I share my real-world self-publishing and small business experience with you. Before we get started, I just want to remind you to like, comment, share, follow, and subscribe. Now let's get on with today's show. Pretty regularly, like around once a week or so, I come across a post from an author on social media where they're crying about low book sales. Sometimes this is accompanied by a link to their books on Amazon. Other times, it's just a generalized cry for help, and sometimes just crying. Often, I run across these posts in groups or author forums where self-promotion is either frowned upon or just outright prohibited. This cry for help with a link to their books on Amazon is kind of a sneaky way to say, hey, check out my book on Amazon, hoping that a few might end up in a sale. I especially think this is the case when the author is whining about low sales in the first month of the book publication, or it's a new author with their first book and they have some serious look at me-ism. In these cases, I'll comment asking what they're doing with their marketing. Often, there's no response. Busted. Other posts are just plain sad, like really sad. They cry about how their life is a mess, how they're facing some life challenges, or that social media platforms are doing them wrong. Then it's wrapped up with, if you could please buy my book, that would help me out a lot. I've called out pitiful pity selling before. Pity buying and selling is when a sale is achieved because the buyer feels sorry for the seller. It's an emotional bandage for the seller, giving them a false sense of success that's really very temporary. Sales eventually and inevitably drop off, and the seller is once again plunged into another round of sadness, prompting even more pity posts. Sometimes I've noticed that the pitiful story continues to take a downward spiral in future posts, with even sadder details and developments. This is a vicious cycle that serves no one. Sales that are made without true buyer want and desire are not true sales. Another thing I've often noticed in these complainers' Amazon book listings is keyword stuffing, particularly for low content books. For example, a blank journal title might be something like this. Super cool journal for children age 5 to 9, 8.5 inches by 11 inches, lined pages, including fun questions and answers about animals, 10 animal stories, and that's how the title starts. It's almost a paragraph long. Is this the title or the product description? These authors are aware that titles are super important for searchability on Amazon, but they haven't gotten the message that Amazon, like search engine Google, is sensitive to keyword stuffing. That's a sure way to prompt the robots to lower your search rank to the bottom of the listings. Plus, these authors' books are usually in hyper-competitive categories, especially for low-content books. Two of these books that I checked out on Amazon were in product categories that had over 60,000 titles in each. These authors may have understood that they were in a very competitive market, but they thought they could game the system with keyword stuffing through the title. It's interesting and encouraging that some authors in these groups are trying Amazon ads to promote their books. So I'll give them credit. The problem is they don't understand how advertising and Amazon advertising work. Advertising can take a long time to realize results. Unless a campaign is completely running off the rails and sapping your cash stash fast, leave it alone for up to 6 months so you can see trends. Some authors in these groups are upset that 1 month of ads hasn't produced a groundswell of sales. Amazon advertising isn't a vending machine where you deposit payments for ads and book sales automatically and reliably and sustainably come out. You'll have good days and bad days, weeks and months, with Amazon ads. At this point, the Amazon advertising platform is pretty mature, meaning that it's super competitive and expensive now. I've been running Amazon ads for my books since 2016. Back in the early days, I was getting great ROI, and now I'm lucky to break even. The crying authors also ask fellow author members in the groups for feedback on their books so that they can either revise the current book or do better with the next book. Fellow author members are all too happy to dive in with comments on the book cover, illustrations, whatever. What the author and the commenters ignore is that it's not so much about the book as it is about the market and the marketing for the book. They still erroneously believe that the better the book, the better the sales. This leads to a never-ending loop of publishing perfectionism. While it's true that you have to have an acceptable level of book quality, that quality level will be determined by the demands of the market as well as comparable titles and the resources you have available to invest in attaining perfection. Sadly, most of these authors don't even understand the markets they're targeting. Sometimes I jump into the comments to interrupt the better book conversation, and I ask the author about their following or author platform. The answers can range from no response to I don't like social media. In observing these comment threads, I've realized that there are two types of authors who make these posts. There are the authors who are authors. They just want to continue authoring. They hope sales will magically happen without any marketing. The other authors, if you could call them that, are entrepreneurs. I even hesitate to call them authorpreneurs because they're not truly authors. They've slapped together something that they hope will make money. They may have watched some get-rich-quick videos on YouTube and found one that told them they could make gobs of money publishing Kindle ebooks, children's books, or whatever nonsense. They might do ads because another YouTuber told them that ads work. Some videos even tell them that they can make mountains of sales without social media. Then, after they realize this is a long game with a long ROI horizon and more cost and resources than they ever could have anticipated, they're out. Some of these will call themselves serial entrepreneurs, though serial failure is actually more accurate. As I've harped on over and over again, you can estimate about 1% of your author platform or fan base will actually buy your book as a unit sale. That may even be optimistic these days as more people jump into subscription reading programs like Kindle Unlimited. My suggestion is to quit crying in the author groups and forums and spend time building your audience of potential book buyers and fans. I hope you found that helpful, and if you did, please rate, review, and subscribe to The Heidi Thorne Show on whatever podcast app you like to use. I'm on all the major ones, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you like the YouTube video better, all you have to do is subscribe to my Heidi Thorne YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell so you get an alert when a new video is up. I would appreciate it if you would share either the audio or the video with your friends on social media. My self-published books are available on Amazon, Audible, and Apple Books. All you have to do is go to one of those sites, type in my name, and my author page will come up with a list of all available titles. If you'd like to connect with me, my website is HeidiThorne.com. Thank you so much for listening and for your support. I'll look forward to talking with you again in the next episode, and in the meantime, have a great day.